Welcome to an all new episode of Looks and Wisdom Sundays with me, Aluchibi. Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Looks and Wisdom Sundays with me, Aluchibi, aka the Elusive Pundit. Honey, how are you feeling? I am feeling good. This is the last episode of the April's core theme, which was emotions as messengers. I know that today's episode is supposed to be a hard topic. The whole thing just didn't work out because there were other emotions that I wanted to add, which is fear and anxiety, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. So I'm sorry this is not a hard topic episode, but I just feel like it's very important for me to continue with the emotions that I wanted to bring to the forefront because I feel like they do help in our understanding of self. So without further ado, I do want to put a disclaimer. We are not talking about chronic conditions. We are literally just talking about everyday emotions that come to us as messages. And they come to us as messages because we are experiencing something in our lives, and the emotions are here to tell us what is going on. And in doing that, help us to solve the problem. This week, we are talking about fear and anxiety, and I decided to name this week's episode Fear and Anxiety, the two sisters that propel us to action, which is very true. So I will be breaking down my talk into three main talking points. So the first one will be what the definition of fear and anxiety is, and then I will speak about why I believe that they are sisters that propel us to action. And then secondly, we're going to talk about some of the symptoms that you experience as you conjure up fear and anxiety. And lastly, we will talk about how to cope with fear and anxiety. So without further ado, let's get to the first one, which is what is fear and anxiety? So what is fear? Fear is an emotional response to a known and defined threat. So, for example, if you are walking down the street in the middle of the night and someone actually comes to you, points a gun at you and says, "This is a stick up, I need the bags or the money," you are going to experience fear because it is defined and it is immediate and you can see it, so you can respond to it. On the other side, what is anxiety? Anxiety is a diffuse, unpleasant, vague sensation of apprehension. It is often a response to an imprecise and unknown threat. Again, you're walking down an alley, nothing has happened to you, but you're conjuring up some fears in your brain in terms of thinking that, oh, something might happen to you, or I could be in danger because I am a female, I'm walking at the night in this dark alley, and it's a perceived notion that you are feeling. It is not real and immediate, the same way that fear was. Someone is pointing a gun at you with fear, like, oh, no, I'm scared. Anxiety, oh, I'm walking down an alley, something could potentially or possibly happen to me. Now, I am anxious about what could be and what the possibility is. Fear and anxiety are very closely related, but they are very separated by only one thing. Fear, immediate, right now, you can see it. Anxiety could be based on how you perceive where you are. It's not happening to you right now. That's why it sits at the brain. Another thing I wanted to add before we move to why I believe fear and anxiety propel us to action is the fact that fear can cause anxiety and anxiety can cause fear. So, like I said, two sisters working hand in hand together, and this is what I mean by that. When you have fear, it is an immediate danger. Someone's pointing a gun at your head, someone's broken into your house, you are in an accident, you are scared right now. And we have a flight and fight response that we have in our bodies that happen naturally when we experience fear. So this flight and fight response is an action response. So you experiencing fear is an emotion. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to fight or are you gonna run, which is the flight one? So you are in an alley, someone's pointing a gun at you, you have a gun in your pocket. Do you take out your gun, oops, kill the other person? Or do you like, oh snap, this is not my day, and then you start running? That's what I mean by it propels us to action. And fear does this automatically. It doesn't wait for you to conjure whether there's fear or not, because fear is happening right now. Like we said, fear is direct, immediate threat. Someone is in your face right now. Anxiety, on the other side, is a perceived threat. You think just because you are viewing something from a specific angle. For example, you can't sleep at night. You're driving yourself up the wall because you are worried that you might lose your job. You are worried that you might fail. You are worried that your lover is gonna leave you. Now, these are things that you don't have proof of. It's just perceived. So you worry that you might fail school. You worry that you might be dropped off from your job. You worry that your lover can leave you. Now, you experience the sensation of anxiety. Now, what happens when you are experiencing anxiety, you can do things. You can sit on the anxiety and let it build up, and that eventually leads to depression because you are not actioning what the anxiety is trying to get you to action. Or you can move into actionable items, which is, I think I might fail in school. Oh, is this a real threat? And how you define that is by checking your marks. Okay, I've gotten 20, 20, 20, so that means I'm really failing. So now you have defined the anxiety, and it is now a fear, because now you can see your marks are not speaking into someone that's going to pass. They're actually speaking into someone that's going to fail. And then you have now the responsibility to action that message. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit and hope that you're not going to fail, sit more into that anxiety and on action, or you're going to spring into action? I need to up my marks. I need to study more. I need to get a tutor. I need to speak to the professor. I need to, in order for you to be able to up your marks to pass. The second one, you think you might be fired at work. Why do you think that? Now it's driving you up the wall. You can't sleep at night because you have this perceived notion that you might lose your job. You can sit there and it causes depression, because all emotions that you sit on build up to something that is chronic, whether we like it or not. That's just the way of life. So you're scared you might lose your job. You go check the environment, because now anxiety is asking you to action to check whether or not this is a perceived threat or a real threat. So you go check. My manager doesn't like me. I feel like those people over there at finance are plotting to get me removed. Whether you find out that really you are in the threat of losing your job, whether it's because of non-performance or because there are people plotting to remove you, either way, you get a message from that. And that message is asking you for two things. If you are perceiving that you might lose a job and you find out it's because of your lack of action on your side, so you're under PIP, you're not performing great, you have to choose whether or not you are going to continue non-performing or you're going to improve your performance in order for you to sit in a safer space. If there are people plotting to take you out of your job, then it's people plotting taking you out of a job. Whether you're going to sit until they succeed or you're going to go on LinkedIn and apply for another job, it's still preparing you to an action. Threat you might lose your job. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit until it happens, or are you going to spring into action to make sure that you rectify where you are, or you find another place to be in? Last one, you think your partner is going to leave you. You have now this notion, you have conjured it up in your brain, you can't sleep at night, you're checking the Instagram, you're checking the WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, emails. Literally, you're stalking the person. And is this a perceived threat or is this a real threat? That's the first establishment. And how you do that is to go check. Hey, partner, are you cheating on me? Are you cheating on me? I'm lying. I'm not lying, actually. You should do that. Ask your partner if they cheat. Confront the situation, okay? So in your little research that you do, you actually find out that your partner is seeing someone else or has another family all the way in Kharangoa that you didn't know about. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit in that anxiety some more and it leads to depression, or are you going to spring into action? Now you are wanting to be a sister wife, have this whole kumbaya situation going on, like mselegu, or you're going to leave the guy and find someone else who wants to be in a monogamous relationship. Either way, fear and anxiety are telling us something about the environment that we're in. Fear, it's real, it's happening right now, you can see it. Anxiety, it might be, it's perceived as causal, but we're not sure, but we are trying, like maybe because it can, it is not true. So in anxiety, then you find out if your perceived threat is true or not, and then move from there. In fear, it happens by itself. You're gonna flight or fight automatically. So that is what I meant by it's two sisters that propel us to action. And again, fear can cause anxiety and anxiety can cause fear. So now let's move to the next segment, which is symptoms of anxiety and fear, because they're the same. Oh, some of the symptoms of fear and anxiety. So you might get an accelerated heart rate. Now your heart is pumping blood faster than it's supposed to. Chest pains, you're feeling hot, you're feeling cold, you might be a little nauseous as well. You might sweat, you might experience some dizziness, you might be tingling, you can experience some shaking as well. Like you can't sleep at night, you wake up at 3 a.m., your stomach is upset, your body is tight, you're stiff, your brain is not functioning correctly, like you have brain fog, like you can't place things where they need to be placed. So those are some of the symptoms that you experience when you are experiencing fear and anxiety. You're dizzy, your heart's beating, you can't think straight, your back hurts, your stomach hurts, it's just a lot going on. Like you literally have a lump on your throat. So those are some of the symptoms that you actually experience when you are experiencing fear and anxiety. And now onto the last segment, which is some of the coping mechanisms for fear and anxiety. So the first one, which is face your fear. Like there is nothing you can do with fear rather than to move through it. I can attest to this myself. I was scared of doing bungee jumping. I thought I couldn't do it because I have a fear of heights. I don't even know where that comes from because I'm black. And I mean, 2 weeks ago, I actually went to the Soweto Towers and bungee jumped. And I was like, man, this thing is easy. I want to bungee jump again. So, I mean, for me to get over my fear, I had to go through it. So that's what it means when it says that you need to be able to face your fears. The more you do and engage in fearful activities or take a risk or whatever, the more you get comfortable with those type of fears you were scared about before. Other strategies that could be helpful: move your body, go to the gym, exercise, walk, skip, do whatever you need to do. The body holds a lot of what we experience, fear, anxiety, and all of those things. So if we move it, we are able to get some of that out back into the ether. So moving your body is very great for helping with fear and anxiety. Relaxation techniques are also some of the things that help. I meditate a lot and I play calming music a lot in the house. So that helps me with fear and anxiety, and also just to like calm my mind and balance my thoughts as I'm experiencing my life. So definitely relaxation techniques. Journaling is also a relaxation technique. Doing your makeup while you're playing your favorite music is a relaxation technique. I can go on and on and on. Another one is practice mindfulness. Like be aware of your life. Like I'm a self-mastery coach. One of the things that I tell people is like, if you don't know what you are, who you want to be, and what you are aiming for in life, everything can go awry. But if you sit on something that is strong, which is who you are and your core essence, it's very easy to maneuver through some of the hurtful things that we experience in life. So practice mindfulness, and then utilize breathing techniques. I used to do this a lot back in the day. Yo, guys, I have to tell you, I used to suffer from a lot of anxiety. And my anxiety literally came from the childhood traumas that I experienced, which was abandonment and just in general feeling unsafe. So for the longest time in my life, I thought anxiety was part and parcel of who I was, because every day of my life, for years and years and years and years and years and years, I used to wake up with so much anxiety, scared I don't know, like I was just scared about life. Like I had so much fear. It was perceived obviously because it's anxiety. And just I was like, God, I don't want to live in this time and space anymore. I want to be different. And these things that I'm mentioning here are things that I've done and continue to do in my life. I don't have anxiety anymore. I don't have that. I don't have fear anymore. Well, we do have fear when we're trying something new, but it's not like holding me back. And I use both anxiety and fear in my immediate life right now to propel me to action. If I'm feeling anxious, like last 2 weeks ago, I was feeling anxious about work. And I was like, why am I feeling anxious about work? But I was like, I feel like I'm not putting enough into my job and I need to put more. And that's exactly what I did. And I didn't have anxiety again. So I used to have chronic anxiety, and definitely moving my body has helped. Eating healthy has helped. Practicing mindfulness and meditation has helped. Relaxation techniques have helped. Breathing has helped, and knowing and working with my emotional intelligence, working with my emotions and learning and understanding them has helped. I'm not fearful of emotions anymore. As soon as emotions come to me, I'm like, hold on, I need you right now to solve this problem, or hold on, let me try assess what you are trying to tell me, and let's get to that action part that we were talking about, because every emotion is here to propel us to action. I think I'm done. Okay. Okay, just to summarize, fear and anxiety are emotions that we experience on our day-by-day life. Sometimes we sit in anxiety like I used to do back in the day, and I used to sit in fear back in the day. I don't anymore. And that's because now I've grown and evolved to understand and to know that each and every emotion that we experience on our everyday is coming to tell us something. Again, fear is telling you you are in danger, girl. You are in danger right now. Anxiety is telling us that, oh, we think we might be in danger, but we're not sure. So we're driving ourselves up the wall for no apparent reason. Either way, both the emotions are coming to tell you to do something. Whether you experience that emotion and move through it, or you experience that emotion and then have to do tangible physical actioning in your real life. And then there's certain symptoms, your heart rate beating faster, you are sweating, you're dizzy, you are experiencing all these things. Those are some of the symptoms that you experience. And then last but not least, there is always something you can do. I don't care what's going on in your life, there is always something that you can do. So this is the last on emotions as messengers. In May, it's a mental health month, so I will be focusing on mental health. Like I always say, I don't like giving this away because I want you guys to come back again, okay? Thank you so much for joining. Do comment, do subscribe, do tell your friends, and guys, please give me feedback. Do you guys like this shit or not? Oh, I'm not supposed to swear. Do you guys like this or not? Help me improve, guys. Help me improve. Otherwise, thank you so much.